Okay, and it looks like we just might be on. Yeah. Are we live? We're certainly not Memorex. And wondering if you have heard about this yet, and possibly you have. Hey, Linda, how you doing? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. I've been on a little while. There's been a lot going on. And hey, Richard. I'm going to try to be on Sundays more now. I'm going to try to save time on a Sunday to be in, and probably around 8 or so. Seems to be a good time for people, 7 or 8. Trying to find a time that people are going to be around to see it, trying to get a regular schedule back. But you know what? I've been getting knocked flat, and I've been talking to people. They're getting knocked flat too. We just been sleeping a lot. And it's like we're doing a bunch of stuff in our sleep, you know, because you wake up and it's like, where am I? You know, and it's like, I feel like I've been doing a lot. I think we do. I'm pretty sure we do, because some of the dreams are wild. So I'm sitting here with a blown mind again. My mind is blown. And if you hear little Mew Cake, of course, that's little cowboy letting you know hi. And he likes his mommy to be all to himself, so he might get a little jealous that I'm in here streaming. My little sweet boy. He's a good boy. But, you know, he was in a turkey coma most of Thanksgiving weekend. And this is my birthday weekend. And I had a rather peaceful birthday. I went out. Oh, there you can see a little bit of cowboy in the very corner of the screen there. But we just went out to have my Denny's Grand Slam breakfast. That's pretty much all I did for my birthday. I didn't do the bar crawl or anything like that. Yeah. We just went out and had, well, thank you. We just went out and had Denny's. So exciting. I didn't even have a cake. Gemini, how you doing? Yeah, Gemini is one of the people I was talking to. We're all sleeping a lot. We all just feel the need to sleep a lot. It's not just me anymore. I mean, I've looked at my pictures. You know, when I look back over my channel, how I looked, I really needed rest. There was something going on. I look a lot better now than I did in some of those pictures. Obviously, I needed some rest, and I know I was being worked on. I'm a lot less ouchy now. I'll tell you what, it makes a lot of difference. While I'm waiting for people to kind of file in, I'll tell you some stories here. One thing I have done is I've started taking colloidal copper, which seems to be helping a lot. That's one thing. Another thing is I got some Ormus that's so strong. If you want to know what Ormus that is, it's strong. But let me tell you, it was a funny thing on my birthday. I accidentally plopped way too much in my coffee, and I was high as a kite. I had an Ormus high. But the cool thing is, a lot of my pain was gone. I was able to get through a day without a lot of pain. And, one of the things it does is let your cells communicate with each other better. And in the case of some of the stuff that's gone on with me, that's important. Another thing I've been doing is I've been purifying my system by drinking my lemon water and my ginger tea. You can make fresh ginger tea so easy. It's ridiculous. I recommend it. You can get ginger root, and you actually, the easiest way to peel ginger root is with a spoon, because it's paper thin. The skin is paper thin, and comes off easiest that way. And then chop it or slice it very fine and put it in pure water and make yourself some nice hot ginger tea. It's really good for you. And it's supposed to help you lose weight and stuff too. I don't know if I've lost much weight, but I have lost a lot of my pain. It's anti-inflammatory. All of the stuff I'm doing right now is anti-inflammatory. And one of the big things is I have started getting meat. I found a farmer to get pastured meat from. So when I eat meat, I'm eating pastured meat. That has made a big difference. All of these things make a big difference. Yeah, shredded ginger root, that's a good way to do it. Yeah, ginger root is really good for you. This was the thing. When I got a chuck roast, it's the cheapest thing they had, was a chuck roast. It just fit inside a crock pot. Let me tell you, I cooked this thing, and I hadn't tasted that since I was a kid. Beef that tasted like that and was so tender. It was fork tender. It didn't take very long to cook that way either. Fork tender, and the flavor was just entirely different. And since I've been doing that, the feeling is different too. And I realized it also feels different. You can't really overeat real food too much. I mean, anybody who was probably fat in an earlier age probably did have some metabolic thing going on, because real food will fill you up. You'll get satiated. I mean, I love this. It was delicious, but it's like I could only eat just so much of it because it's so rich and dense in nutrients that your body just says, whoa, Jack, just settle down, settle down. We don't need any more. And you'll stop. And this is the way it is with sugar, real sugar too. You'll hit a point where you'll say, okay, that's it. But see, all of these other foods, they're designed to do just the opposite, to make you think you haven't had anything. And it's so different. It's a different experience entirely. So I can have just a small portion of this wonderful roast. And it's kind of sad because it's like I got to make it last because I can't eat as much of it because I'll be full. My stomach will be telling me that's it. That's absolutely it before very long. And so that's just how they have jacked us up, man. With all of this factory farming and stuff, they've jacked everything up. So I don't know what the final results will be, but I know that I used to feel like there was broken glass in every joint and every time I moved. I just didn't want to move around very much because it hurt all the time at one point. And that's been gradually going away. Ah, bless me. Pardon me. Sorry. Anyway, here we go. It's never just once, is it? Oh, I think our vents need cleaned or something. Anyway, been reading and sleeping a lot. People are saying, well, thank you. Thank you. Bless me. There we go again. This may continue. The first time I got a sneezing spell around Cowboy, he was scared and hid. It's like, but he's gotten so much more relaxed now. He wants to be like right up by my pillow, right up by my head, which when he has flatulence is not good, but he wants to be. He's actually woke me up that way a few times. I'm like, Cowboy, eating that spicy food before you go to bed. Anyway, why does it always come down to flatulence? I don't understand that. It does on SOR a lot of times too. We end up somehow with that being a topic. But there he is. Speaking of kitty. Speaking of kitten. What? What, baby cakes? Mr. Cowboy. Oh, you want to get up in the window, huh? And I'm on the chair. Well, I'm sorry, but Oh, okay, well, later. Okay, later. You can get up here later. Whose house is it, right? Whose apartment is this? It's not mine, apparently. How dare I? How dare I be sitting in my chair because he likes to sit here and look out the window. Okay, I'm going to play, and just in case anybody hasn't quite got the word yet, if somebody wants to put a word in for me in MeWe, just in case somebody wants to, I forgot to do that again. Yeah, it's his apartment. That's right, Richard. This isn't my apartment. I just pay the rent, right? I'm just the person who signs the lease. But everything's his. It's like, he is a critic too about some things, I'll tell you. No, he's a sweet little boy, really. I'm going to put on, hoping a few more people find this before I really get into the meat of this. I'm going to do a share screen and put on my intro, if I can. It's very slow. That's one of the reasons I haven't been using the computer too much, the PC too much. It's really slow. Meow. You want a guest spot on the show, Cowboy? I could arrange that. Oh, come on now. Oh, come on now. You weren't supposed to do that. Now stop that. Okay, here we go. You weren't supposed to hear any of that. Oh, God. Okay, now. Here we go. I love you guys, too. Yeah. My little boy, he's something else. We were really meant to be. Making waves and getting ready to rock your world. Oh, yes. Imagine this. Got to get the right. Okay, and those of you who know my past, and you know a little bit of my relationships and stuff, you're going to love this. Yep. Okay. Stop that screen. I got another one for you. Oh boy. Here you go. Share screen. This just totally, like I said, it blew my freaking mind. Here's one. Omi Kron. There, I said it, but it's with a K and not a C. Remember, this is a video game, right? We're all in a video game here. Remember that we are. This actually has nothing. This is in-game advice. We actually are in a matrix and have this has nothing to do with real life, which exists outside the game. Well, anyway, how did I ever miss this? Okay. Omi Kron video game was released in 1999. Nomad Soul. And you know, it's interesting because nomad soul or traveler or wanderer. And this is interesting. The Nomad Soul was an adventure game developed by Quantic Dream and published by Eidos Interactive in collaboration with singer David Bowie. I didn't know this at first and clicked on it, and I'm watching this and I'm watching and I'm hearing the voice and I'm going, what? David, is that you? And he's just standing there grinning like from ear to ear, like, I got you again. I got you again. You know, I'm like, man, how did you do that? I said, was that really you in there? And of course, I checked on it. I looked into it, researched it. Sure enough, there he is. He's in a video game in this. Now listen to the plot of this. This is just fantastic, really. I mean, let me get this over here so that we're a little closer to where I can see here. Basic plot. The basic plot is they're trying to awaken a demon, and you're trying to keep your soul. Okay. There's a character in the name called Boz. That's who he plays. Players try to save their own soul while hunting down a serial killer. Demons pretend to be human to lure humans into Omi Kron. Then if the player loses the game, their real-life soul is said to be lost. It's the one and only time David Bowie ever appeared in a video game, and it's been uncovered. over 2 decades later, in the wake of the latest variant. Wake up, people of Omi Kron, and its corrupt government are lulling you to sleep. Oh, people of Omi Kron and its corrupt government are lulling you to sleep in order to control you better. David Bowie's character Boz says in the video game, which I probably shouldn't play because of copyrights, but let me see if I can get you the pictures here. Is this bizarre? I want to hear what do you think of this? I mean, this, and wait a minute, I got another one for you. I got some pictures. Let me see if this is it. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yep. I believe I'm getting the right one. Okay. Look at this. And the whole thing is, there's a demon. They even name it Astroth. And Astroth's trying to come back into the world and be in power in this video game. And you're fighting against that. And David Bowie appears both as this sort of mentor NPC character and as a singer and a lead singer in a band in one of the nightclubs. And of course, since the latest variety has come up, people have been looking and poking around, and the only difference, of course, is one letter. It's a K instead of a C, more of a German-like spelling, although the person who did this was French, who made this, actually. I was told in the beginning it was Gates, but Gates didn't have anything to do with this. This was a French producer that produced the game. So, hey, Max. So basically, I'm sitting here looking at this and going, that's David. And David is standing here grinning, and he hugs me. And I said, you want to explain this? He says, keep looking. Well, he had several things come up in this. I mean, first of all, the plot really is a lot like what we're dealing with. And as I said, is it a message? I keep thinking I may have to download this and install it, but I don't know. It's just the whole idea that, he's been gone a while, supposedly. Of course, he hasn't been gone. He's been here. But visiting people, he visits a lot of people, I guess. He's a busy guy. He's like the hardest working guy in the afterlife, I swear. Still a workaholic in the afterlife. Go figure. He was a workaholic in this life, too. Boy, I just, of course, my heart was like, and this, I somehow missed it. But I'm a gamer, and I somehow missed it. But there he is. And then he said, well, to tell you the truth, it was my son Duncan who really kind of talked me into it. Because he was not really a gamer. He was more of a chatter. He liked to chat. And it was more his son, yeah, as I recall, it was his son Duncan who really liked to play the video games more. And I got to meet his son once online. Very nice guy. So then, I'm just floored by this. I'm totally floored. I'm like, you little son of a gun. And if you play the thing and you hear, there are some YouTubes where it gives his speech, the speech that this character gives. And it's, I'm just like, it's one of those things. How did you know? Well, how many things have I done and I said and I didn't know, but it was just there. And I was right. Our creativity. And it comes out like this. What if there's a lot there? What if this is, and I think that's why it's all of a sudden popular again. Everybody's going, wait a minute. It kind of sounds like what's happening now. So now, suddenly, 2 decades later, we have this maybe prophetic video game. There's probably, in some strange way, little messages all through it. And I think people have figured that out. Somebody seemed to have known something. And that David is involved with this, no surprise at all that way, that he would be involved with this. Not at all. Because here's some of the images we'll show you. No surprise that he would be involved with something like this, because remember, oh, and by the way, Iman, his wife, is also in here somewhere, playing some character in here. But it's interesting, the nomad soul. When a Mason meets another Freemason, that's one of their things. They'll say, are you a traveler? And if the person responds, yes, I'm a traveler, it's one of the signs that they may be a Mason. So kind of interesting that they would choose that. But here's another interesting, well, of course, I can't hardly look at this, the lyrics to this song, without wanting to cry. So please forgive me. David Bowie did say he would be here as the world falls down. He said, I'll be there as the world falls down, in a song that was in Labyrinth. And as I read it, yeah, because he just grinned. I just said, you got to tell me about this. And he just grinned, and he's just like, no, you're going to find out about it. He says, you'll find out. You know, you find out. So I call, of course, a couple of people that I know that, you know, I tell you, when Jim and I talk, we're always on the same page. We're sisters for sure. And then she had a little tidbit to tell me that didn't amaze me either, but I should have known. I was worried about getting him involved in all of the dark crap that was happening to me. I didn't want to involve anybody I loved in it. Guess what? He didn't either. Apparently, Jim and I just heard a tidbit, and it was like, she goes, that's odd. I did hear something about David Bowie, and then I just kind of forgot about it until you brought this up. His producer, I guess, was a pretty evil guy. He was a little girl rapist, and he kind of disappeared. But, and this was from somebody who knew, who I guess met them, David Bowie seemed to be fine, but it turned out that his producer was not so fine. And so we kind of garnered and kind of picked up that Oh my gosh. Um, he had a world of swirling evil around him too. It wasn't just me. And he was afraid that I'd be a victim. And I was afraid that he'd be a victim. And actually, if we had ever gotten together in any way, we probably, what would that have looked? What kind of a cluster F would that have been? I can't even imagine. It's like, yikes. Um, I'm not really trying to be facetious here. I mean, we all know what can happen in Hollywood and stuff. What kind of things? What kind of if Washington is a swamp, well then Hollywood is in a different kind of swamp. I mean, at the very least. But I was listening to the voice, and of course I was like losing it because I'm like, oh my God, David, how did I miss this? How did I miss this? That you were in this. It's almost like a Mandela effect. Could this have really been real? I mean, honestly, and I somehow missed it. And moreover, the plot line. I mean, geez, if you look into it, the plot line. Wow. But I want to show you something else. And I have to be careful here because sometimes it makes me sometimes I get a little emotional when I see his videos, but he always has a message. Yeah, it's a fun way to tell me. By the way, yes, it just goes once again into this was planned. This was planned. Everything was planned. Okay, so here we go. World falls down. Of course, it was in Labyrinth, but he also had a music video that was very different. Did not show any of the Labyrinth stuff in it. It wasn't based on that at all. Whole different feel to it. And the lyrics, I'm going to show you that because, and I have to be careful because sometimes I get a little deep in your eyes, a kind of pale jewel, open and closed. I'll place the sky within your eyes. Yeah, I'll place you within your heart. I'll place the moon within your heart. As the pain sweeps through, makes no sense for you. Every thrill is gone. Wasn't too much fun at all, but I'll be there for you as the world falls down. Falling. Now, this is something I've noticed lately. I'll paint you mornings of gold. I have been taking pictures of this. Things have been turning gold. I'll spend your Valentine evenings. Though we're strangers till now, we're choosing the path between the stars. I'll leave my love between the stars. As the pain sweeps through, makes no sense for you. Every thrill it's gone. Wasn't too much fun at all. But I'll be there for you when the world falls down. That's my guy. That's him. Yep. wasn't too much fun, really. I had some fun in this life, but to tell you the truth, it was quite a haul. It was really quite a haul. I've never played the game either. I may have to take a look into it, though, because there are some other places where it describes the meaning of it a little more, the plot, and the plot is weird. Oh, here's one. In one speech, he speaks about taking a stand against the government, which many are likening the attitudes towards the government during unspeakable. Wake up, people of Omi Kron and its corrupt government are lulling you to sleep in order to control you better. They've transformed you into puppets that are manipulated by icks and demons. Join the awakened ones and rise up to fight for your freedoms. Together we can win. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So you can see now why I am kind of dumbfounded still, kind of mind blown, just when I think he can't surprise me anymore than he already has. Look out, he surprises me again. And he keeps surprising me, and keeps surprising me, and keeps surprising me. I don't know, guys. This might be it, where they talk a little bit more about it. I wonder if I could buy with playing just a bit of it, since it is not really a movie. But I don't know. Here they're trying to hook it with Bill Gates, and it's not. It's not. He didn't have anything to do. Yeah, and here, no. In this article, they're saying, no, he didn't really have anything to do with it. Yeah, it was actually made by a French game developer and had nothing to do with Bill Gates, which scared me at first, because I'm there like, Bill Gates, and he's like, no, keep reading. And I guess this company went on to make some pretty weird games. Indigo Prophecy, Heavy Rain, Detroit, Become Human. Wow. And they, after his death, they let it out for free for a while. I didn't get it, unfortunately. Too bad. Or I would have gotten it then. Okay, so I don't know if I can. Okay, I'm going to try it. See if I can get by with a little of this. It's not a YouTube. Boy, is this a reality check or what? Wait. Wait. No. Okay, hang on. I gotta get the right tab. Yep, and they're calling it reality check. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, let me see. Did we do it? Yes, okay, we do have the right one. Okay. Here we go.
So here you are, the stranger in Omi Kron, conquering demons. Dagobah told me much about your exploits.
Conqueror of
You're not
demons.
the first video game player to get your soul trapped in this dimension, but you're certainly the first to stay alive so long.
What?
They're now in Astaroth's reservoir of souls. Better to die 1,000 deaths than end up there. Astaroth was locked up in a cage for thousands of years by Cuchulainn, the hero of the Cobalt Wars. Now that he's free, the demon needs to build up his power again, because it dwindled over the centuries. To do so, he needs souls. Thousands of souls. He derives his power from suffering souls. They endure infinite tortures in the reservoir. It is this endless suffering that will enable him to recover his former power. The souls here are grey and withered. You can't get much power from them. The juiciest souls are in your dimension.
The Greys.
Astaroth created the video game called Omi Kron in order to capture them. The game you're playing at this very moment. He uses Omi Kron to attract souls. He asks players to put their spirit into a body in order to enter our dimension. As soon as the soul has come here, it only takes a demon to catch it and take it to Astaroth, who condemns it for all eternity, which very nearly happened to you. No, unfortunately. As long as your soul is a prisoner in Omi Kron, you run the risk of being caught by a demon and thrown into the reservoir. The only way to save your soul is to kill Astaroth, but nobody knows where he hides, not to mention how to go about killing him. Let me think. There might be a way to find out more about Astaroth. There's an old parchment that comes from the Cobalt Wars. It mentions Astaroth. Perhaps it says something about how to destroy the demon. The parchment is in the central library of Omi Kron under strict guard at the top of the pyramid.
Library.
Go to the library and gather together all the information you can find on Astaroth. The survival of your soul is at stake.
The Central Library.
Legate Reshev protects everything that dates from the Cobalt Wars. He still hopes to discover some secrets of the ancient art. All access to these documents is forbidden. The library is in the Lahore sector. You'll need a pass to get there. You'll find one somewhere in this house. I placed Jenna at the head of Phalanx 5 to replace Nantar, the traitor. I asked her to give you all the help you need. Something tells me you can help us achieve our goal. An old legend recounts that only a nomad soul can hunt the demons out of Omi Kron. You may be the one we have been waiting for. I must go. Now the binary tides are turning. May Vigramuka guide your steps.
Wake up, people of Omi Kron. Reshev and his corrupt government are lulling you to sleep in order to control you better. They have transformed you into puppets that are manipulated by Ix and the demons. Join the awakened ones and rise up to fight for your freedom. Together, we can win.
All the inhabitants of Omi Kron are now awakened. The trusts have been destroyed. The last skirmishes are ending in the streets. We have had an extraordinary victory, which our descendants will recount from generation to generation, and we owe this victory to you, nomad soul. You helped us win back our freedom. For us all, you are now a legendary hero, like Cuchulainn before you. I shall try to take on material form again and leave this accursed network that has kept me prisoner for centuries. Thank you for all you have done for us, nomad soul. I'll never forget you.
You have accomplished your destiny.
Okay. Well, does that sound anything like what we're seeing in this screwy game right now? You know, it's just, there's too many. What I saw, I have mentioned it on this show, that I've seen politicians in my third eye as puppets, right? I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. And another thing, the Cobalt War, I have mentioned in this show, I have mentioned that one of the things that we had to clear out of somebody's home looked like a Dungeons and Dragons kobold to all of us that saw it as we were working on clearing. Exactly, but I didn't want to say that because it's kind of, I said, I know. And this thing was coming through a portal. This thing had a portal in a basement of a house. It had already killed the guinea pigs. It was like it was sucking the life out of things. It was a shadow person, and I don't care who. I know some people are trying, well, shadow people are, most of the time, don't trust it, okay? Don't trust shadow people most of the time, really. There may be some cases out there where it's not so bad, where they're not bad, but boy, oh boy, was this one bad, although not terribly powerful. He had some kind of freaky armor on. Now, the thing that came after we got rid of that one, after we got rid of that guy, he had some freaky armor on that bent the light. And so, first of all, when I first saw him, it was like this glaring light in my eye, in my third eye, and I'm going, what the heck? And then it kind of went away, because this is my third eye, not these eyes. And it went away, and I could see it. It was this lizardy thing in a suit of armor that somehow bent light. But of course, I broke that, and then I could see him. Because that's who I am, right? I can do that stuff. We can do that stuff. You and I can do that stuff. I'm sure that Jim could certainly do it, and I wouldn't doubt that Max could do it. And maybe all of you could do it. I would think that possibly, if you thought of it, all of you could do it. But I'm looking at this thing we got after we got rid of it. I'm trying to close the portal, and there's this long thing blocking it, and it just keeps trying to close, but it keeps opening again, because there's this ropey thing, this really gross looking ropey sort of black, green, gray thing sticking out of it. And so the guy I'm working with, which at that time was Sean, oddly enough, before he he got angry at everybody and just kind of alienated everybody. He did. He alienated his whole, I don't know what happened there, but it was like he was a different guy. I'm not going to go into that again. I described it once. But before that, we worked together on these things. And he decides, because he's the strong man of the group, he's like the fighter. And he gives a yank on that thing, and out comes this thing that he described as looking like some kind of organ, some kind of ghastly organ, only all gross looking. I mean, it looked like some kind of decayed thing. I was really glad that I couldn't smell it. It probably would have smelled really bad. That's what I had a feeling of. Now, he thought it was some kind of an organ, and it was. I think it was basically a placenta. I think that's what this thing came out of. I've mentioned this before. Cancer. And it was one of the physics, was it Lipton, who said, really, they're made out of, the cancer tumors are made out of the same thing as placenta. And I said, God, what if every tumor, considering what makes tumors, what if every tumor is something trying to come into the world? You know, and what if it's one of these things? Something like this thing. This thing was... Okay, so this sounds like a D&D game. It wasn't. This was... Somebody was being bothered at their home, and we said we'd do a remote for it. And it was a smaller demon type thing, but crazy that he would call it the Cobalt Wars, because that's exactly what we were seeing, this thing that looked like a D&D Cobalt. Both of us. So guys, folks, family, my dear family, please. I still feel like sometimes like the floor went out from under me as I run across these things. And me thinking I can't be shocked any more than I'm already shocked, right? So wrong. Boy, David, I gotta hand it to you. Dude, you did it. You got me this time. He thinks it's funny. It is funny. It is kind of funny. It's also kind of brilliant. It's brilliant. But I need a little help with this. You know, my head needs a little help, my mind and my heart. What's going on here? I have some idea. Jim and I, we came up with some ideas and talked about some stuff. But to tell you the truth, it's still kind of spinning my head a little bit. And we are very close to an exit, I think. But of course, as David said, I'm not here to just play the game and then leave. I'm here to freaking win. And when I look at every game I've ever played, I'll hit a certain point where I've pretty much done this stuff. And after I do this stuff, and I've pretty much won, and in a lot of these games you don't really win, you just raise levels and stuff, but after I get to a certain point in it where, you know, I've unlocked this, and I've unlocked that, and I've unlocked this other thing, and I've unlocked all that, And yes, I'm doing fine. I'm in the very top alliance. I'm doing great. And then I lose interest and leave and say, hey guys, it's been fun now. I've done that and I've been there, and I'll just, make my own little t-shirt here and can toddle off now and find something else to do. Is this what I do? Is this what we do? Maybe, you know, yeah, maybe that's what we do. We just, okay, you guys are great now. You're the number one. I already won mines. I got all mines here, and now I'm bored. It's getting to be a grind. See you next time. You have a disaster on your hands or whatever. Is this what? Because we're told. It is funny because a long time ago I was reading a lot of the books and the stuff in the channeling say, you guys do this all the time. This is what you do. This is what you do all the time. And that's how come we know how to do it so good without knowing we know. We don't even know that we know. That's the screwy part. Because if we knew in advance, a telepath could find that out. So, but it's in there. Somehow, we always know what to do at the last moment, right when we need to know it. Or maybe just a second before, when it's too late to change it. And that's probably why we always win. Because we do win. We always do. So, it's obvious. We're winning. We're going to win. We've already won, in effect. But there's going to be a lot of cleanup. There's going to be a lot of shift over. There's going to be a lot of stuff still before it's really all shook out. So there's that left. And now I get to sit here and watch it play out. And I'm okay. I mean, through all of this, there's a lot going on in the world. And I keep getting told I'm going to be taken care of. He says, don't worry, you're going to be taken care of all the way through. You're, all of the work and everything that you did and all of those times when you just about weren't. There's so many times when I could have left. There's so many times when it looked like everything was going to crash. And actually, one time everything did crash. But somehow I always survived it. And with the part about, but none of them have lived as long as you. That's another funny one. I'm very hard to kill. I'm easy, sick, yeah, I can get sick, but killing me is a whole different story. And I'm pretty tough that way, and a lot of us are. A lot of us have been through a lot of things. I know people who have been through strokes and everything else, and they just don't freaking die. We just don't freaking die until we're ready to go, until we go. So, until it's time. We can check out. I am sure that if I'd stayed at the other place, I would have checked out. That would have been my time to go. The cat had gone on before me. Maui had gone on before me, my daughter. And David had come and talked about ascension and all of that. So he was basically, I think I was given a choice. That was probably when the choice was given, was right then. It's like, do you want to stay and finish this game? Or do you want to go on? Because if you want to stay and finish the game and win, You're going to have to move. So I moved. I did make the push to move, which was really difficult. But I did it. And now I'm going to live to see how we win. So I'm going to be here until we win, at least, which is okay. And I don't believe we're going to have a real, like an actual zompocalypse or I don't believe Terminator's going to be able to be allowed either. Although it may look bad for a bit. I think there'll probably be times that we'll all be catching our breath and going, what? And it's like, no, but it's not going to be that way. Now, I realize I really need to emphasize, wherever you are in the world, since we've had these devastating tornadoes, is another example. People need to remember, there are people who need to remember who they are. Up here we get tornadoes all the time. They're not very destructive up here anymore. Now, I remember when I was a kid, they were a lot more dangerous, but as I grew into my shamanhood, we don't have very destructive storms here at all. They're certainly not killers. So I would urge anybody who lives in these affected areas to learn how to talk to the nature spirits and split the wind and mitigate the weather, because it is completely within our power to do so, to talk to the nature spirits and say, hey, this is what we need. Because when I explain to them, hey, you know, people can get hurt. I mean, people are, you know, because when it's icy and bad, I mean, when I was much younger, we had these terrible storms that actually killed people. And so I explained to them that, you know, this is around the holidays when people are trying to get together and be together, and it's very scary. They feel they must go out and gather, but the weather is so bad that it's dangerous. And back at that time, people were dying on the highway. It was very easy to die on the highway back then. For a few years there, the storms were so bad that your car could get buried and they might not find you for a while. That did happen. That did happen to people. And other things, I mean, just horrendous amounts of ice and snow and everything, and ice causing accidents and all kinds of things. We've had them where ceilings would fall in. I mean, I survived one of those. Fortunately, it wasn't my ceiling, it was a person above me, but I ended up with a runoff. So, isn't that weird? It's like, and then I come here, and instead of the ice, it's once again the this time they said it was the air conditioning unit that iced over and melted down into all these affected apartments. It's like, okay, when is the water going to stop pouring in on me? Right? So anyway, that's the story, folks. Had to bring it to you. Now you can do your own research. I understand, Max. It's probably kind of late for you if you're working tomorrow. Yeah, we're very resilient. We are. We're resilient. So are you. And by the way, if you're one of the people drawn to this channel, there's a very good chance that you also have the ability to do this, talking to the nature spirits and mitigating storms. And I think we need to do it. I think it's part of our duty, if we know how to do this, Okay? So remember, you are divine. I say it every show. I'm not kidding. You are divine. There's some responsibilities that come with that, you know. You are divine. This is ocean making waves. Now it's time for you to make some, and remember, the truth is where you find it. Hope you're finding some here. Keep looking. And good night. Love you.